Coming soon to a podcast near you.
Take a great leap into your thoughts. No, take an even bigger one. This is a completely different land. No cities tower at the horizon. Not even country roads break through the landscape. The only thing you see in front of you is forest. Great ancient trunks as knotty and twisted as time itself. Below the branch of the trees lie enormous boulders, perhaps tossed by some gigantic being. The tops of the stones are covered in a thick layer of dark green moss, and out of the moist inside of the moss, mushrooms grow. How would it have appeared? What might it have been like to walk on animal trails in these thick forests, without a map or any sort of overview or perspective of the areas you travel through? The only possibility is to follow the tracks from some other creature and be prepared to meet the same fate, good or bad, as your guide. To wander forth on the weaving trails with the secret of the forest becomes a heavy burden on your shoulders. Losing your way is easy, so easy, that you will not even know that you are lost. You have to use all of your senses to make progress, smelling and listening for the scents and the noises of the forest as your compass. The only way to learn the path is to ask, but there is no one to ask, until they are suddenly there. A group of trolls stare at you, with their round and animal-like eyes. You do not know if they are sleeping or awake, because none of the trolls move in the slightest. They only stand there, silent and hunched together among the trunks of the trees, looking at you. It is here your thoughts should settle. Right here, in Wild Heart.
Warning, this podcast contains mature content, including scenes or descriptions of graphic violence, sexuality, and psychological trauma. Listener discretion is advised.
The Rancor's Brothel presents Impossible Landscapes. A Delta Green campaign by Dennis Detweiler. Crime lab or state police?
Crime lab first, I think.
Sure.
Yeah, it works.
Okay, you go to his place of residence. I will allow you one talkie person. Who is the talkie person? You walk in. Hello, Massachusetts
Probably
State Police Crime Laboratory. How can I help you?
Flynn.
Do we need talkies? Do we need like bureaucracy? Like my bureaucracy's 60.
That's talkie.
If that's what we're utilizing.
I have 70 persuade.
I also have some criminology.
I also have 70 persuade, but I also have criminology. I also have law. I don't have bureaucracy.
Do you have criminology?
50.
Sounds like Flynn's our most well-rounded person. I mean, you've got
Mine's also 50.
You've got bureaucracy, you've got persuade, and you've got criminology. Like,
What
you guys probably
department
don't-
of the crime lab did he work in, or any specific?
I believe he was the head of the crime lab.
Okay.
I think he was like the director, assistant director of the Massachusetts State Police Crime Laboratory.
Okay. Hi. We are looking for a meeting with your acting director.
Yeah.
So
let me
part of
see.
an investigation.
Oh, okay. Do you have an appointment?
No. Is there opportunity to have a brief word?
Yeah. The new director actually is out of town, or not in the office today. I can try and get you in for next Tuesday.
Is there anyone else who?
It's going to be a role. What kind of social role do you want to lean on? Because that's going to change. What
persuade. Persuade to.
You're going to know that. So if you pull bureaucracy and flash your badge or law, you will push through harder than a persuade.
Okay.
Right now, you have no proof of. You
Okay,
being
I will show my badge.
Which that means you're showing your badge to someone who's going to record it too.
I hate all this nonsense.
So I'm just throwing that out there because then she's going to put down for FBI agent Gideon. And it depends on how you throw your weight around too. What your tactic is. But yes, persuade is just going to be, hey, nice lady, can you get me an appointment sooner than that? Versus I'm stepping in with jurisdiction.
This is an urgent matter.
This is an urgent matter in terms of the FBI. Can I please have 15 minutes?
Is this an urgent matter to get this information
kind of
specifically? Yeah, it probably is. Okay, yeah, I'll show my badge and.
So if you're pulling rank, it's bureaucracy.
Okay, do I make the roll?
Yeah, go ahead.
That is an 9.
Go ahead and you can role play it out.
I'll show him badge. We're currently investigating a missing persons case.
Okay.
We believe that the former director, Mr. Barbas, may have some connections. We're just looking to follow up and kind of see maybe what he was working on and what information we can glean.
Yes, of course. Again, as I said, the director is out.
Is there an assistant director who may have worked closely with Dr. Barbas?
There's several officers here at the crime scene services section. One of them, I don't know if you're trying to establish. We'll have to figure out how to get access to some of his stuff. I don't know if you know, he was removed from his position in June. So obviously a lot of his stuff has been locked up, secured. Mm-hmm. But if you're just looking for speaking to people who knew him or something like that, there are folks here. I could try and.
I feel like we would definitely appreciate seeing accessing some of his materials, but we would like to talk with someone who may have worked with him.
You see her pick up the phone and makes a phone call. Yes, Detective Skahan?
Sommers?
Not Sommers. Detective Skahan.
Skahan?
Detective Skahan will speak with you if you follow me, please.
Yeah.
Gentlemen. She takes you into a small office where there is a young, relatively attractive detective. It says Detective Emmeline Skahan. Whatever I said earlier, crime services section or whatever. Detective, these individuals are here to speak with you. And she sort of motions, thanks, Janice. Please, I don't really have enough chairs, but please come in.
I'll introduce myself.
I was going to give you a picture so you knew who you were looking at.
Nice.
What'd you say this lady's name was?
Emmeline Skahan.
Skahan.
To make sure she's not a demon.
That could be a demon name.
Luke
Are you a demon? You gotta tell us if you're a demon.
Luke is over there scoffing. Like we haven't already came across 8 different demon names. Skahan.
Should be uploading into the clues folder now.
Need to check the spelling to see if it's...
I think I spelled it right. Let me double check. Going back and forth between the various things. Emelineskehan.
She's got a powerful jaw.
She does.
I don't know, she's got some pretty powerful cheekbones too.
Yes. Federal agent, or special agent, I guess technically would be the title. Special agent. I'm sorry that you can't see the acting director. What can I do for you, gentlemen?
We are currently investigating the late happenings and behaviors of Dr. Barbas.
Yes.
Refresh.
Did you work closely, Dr. Barbas?
Yes, I know him. I've known him for about I knew him. Sorry, it's a little weird to say. I knew him for about 6 years. Obviously, he's been working in the crime lab for a couple of decades. I was recently assigned to this as part of the Massachusetts State Police about 6 years ago, a little over 6 years ago.
Okay, where'd you work before then?
I was just a detective and she gives the name of a town that you're not necessarily recognized, but it sounds like she has worked her way up from a more state troopery position, to a more detective senior role in administrative work.
Mm-hmm.
You get the sense just from, because you have a high bureaucracy, this is if he's the lab work, she's like the connected field work.
Okay.
So she would have worked in conjunction with him in some way, shape, or form. Administrative, probably more than actually busting heads on the streets, but she's definitely the more law part of this office.
What was it like to work for Dr. Barbas? How were those 6 years?
Dr. Barbas was he was a stickler for the rules, a perfectionist, a dedicated public servant. Human rolls.
Ooh, 9 again.
22 under 50.
Even numbers are crit successes.
That's when the numbers are the same.
Yeah.
Don't like.
So
oh,
20,
yeah.
22 is a critical success.
Got it. 16 under 30. Pass.
I just barely succeeded.
All of you who pass, you realize she's very uncomfortable and is having trouble meeting your eye as saying this. Troy, is it Reginald?
Yes.
Reginald, you notice that as she says this, she's sort of like holding her hands kind of in her lap uncomfortably, and she's like rubbing her hands almost obsessively compulsively as she's talking about Barbas. You get the sense that she's turned very icy. She's very uncomfortable, but you get the sense that she wants nothing to do with this and would like nothing better than for all of you to leave her office right away. There's something deeply uncomfortable about this, and it goes beyond, I have a coworker who was murdered. Like this
Right.
is intensely personal. I'm not sure what happened. I can't speak towards that, but he was he was a model in this business.
Oh. Those
Did
are very kind words.
Did you begin to notice strange behavior? I mean, especially leading to his dismissal?
Dedicated public servant, stickler for the rules, usually doesn't get let go.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't know if he sorry.
Were you guys close?
Before he left, yeah. I worked pretty closely with him.
I know this can be difficult to talk about. We're just trying to tie up all the loose ends. Especially his strange behavior. Like obviously, like you've said, he was a model, worker. Like he was the shining example, right? So like, what made him go so far off deep end? We're just trying to figure that out. You seem like you might at least have not necessarily the whys, but you saw signs probably.
Do you want to roll on that, or you want to let it lie? I appreciate the role play, so I am going to credit that, but I didn't know if you wanted to try and roll and sort of push your luck for more, or if you want to let it ride.
I mean, I don't have.
Fair enough.
I can roll at base.
He is he's been whatever happened to him, he's been slipping away since I'd say early June.
Yeah, he seemed to have visited the Dorchester house early June. Did he talk about that visit at all?
No.
I don't know if there might have been a connection there to his behavior.
No.
Since you say early June.
Did he have a lover? Did he have any female friends that accompanied him at all that you know of?
No, not that I know.
So what, he was just a loner?
You're looking at her.
So he was just a loner then?
Yeah, very, very dedicated to his work.
You know, we talked to some of his neighbors. They seem to happen to see a woman in his house through windows, and they thought it was odd too because he kept to himself mostly. So we're just
no, I wouldn't know about any personal relationships with him.
What was he working on
Human.
in early June, late May?
I mean, you can roll a human if you want. I'll let Lucas do it since he asked.
Oh, one.
nice.
Oh,
There's a lot to unpack there, but it's not immediately what you're thinking. She doesn't seem embarrassed by that question. She doesn't seem like, oops, I've been had. There are complex things going on there. There's maybe anger, resentment, fear maybe a little bit, but there's not your immediate reaction of, oops, I caught the lovers is definitely not what is going on here. There's something much deeper and probably much more painful.
Which is kind of what I figured, honestly. I wasn't connecting them to his lovers. I was going a different route, but you know, you seem very uncomfortable talking about all this. Is there anything, I mean, is there some kind of file we can review of his, you know, leave of absence?
Oh, for God's sake.
Things adding up to we don't want to be here anymore than you want us here. Maybe persuade. I don't know.
Okay. All right. Nothing's official. Okay. Everything was dropped. He took a voluntary leave of absence. That's the official report. That's what you can pull. Got it?
yes.
What's the unofficial report?
Christ. I don't know. He flew off the handle one day.
Did he hurt someone?
Huh?
Did he hurt someone?
He tried.
Was it you?
I busted his ass.
Was here in the office?
Yes.
Franky actually chuckles at that when she says that.
I mean, she doesn't look like someone who's going to take shit, and you could tell she was clearly not very comfortable with it.
What was he on about?
He was just
What you want about me?
I went into his office late one night, and he was working on something. He was writing on some thick paper with a large ballpoint pen. Anyway, I opened the door and interrupted him, and he just flew into a rage and he got violent. I don't know what he was working on. I don't know if he snapped. I don't have any idea. And based on what happened to him, I'm assuming that it's some sort of fucking brain damage. I don't know, but he was never the same after that.
He attack you?
Yes.
What's the state of his office since then?
Everything's been moved out.
Do they got it stored somewhere?
Possibly. I don't. Christ, I don't know. You guys hear a knock at the door. Somebody opens the door. And you see a middle-aged guy, fit, wearing a trooper uniform, probably having a hat that he's tucked under his arm. Pokes his head and says, "Em, are you all right?" She kind of holds her hand up. And you could see that she is in a bad state. Trooper kind of looks, Special Agent, you're asking questions about Dr. Barbas, is that right?
Correct.
Would you mind if I give you some input? And he kind of like points out to the hallway. If you gentlemen would like, I can provide you some more information.
Could you give us one more minute?
Human.
Yes.
He is definitely trying to protect this woman.
I
and
get
is
that.
strongly advising that you leave. So you can do whatever you want. I just there's some stuff I'd like to share with you guys, if that's all right.
I have maybe just one or two more questions real quick for.
And she kind of puts her hands up and he's like, "All right, Emma." Did
he go on about a book or anything? Did he try to show you a book? Is that?
No. I mean, unless that paper was part of a book, it was just a sheet of paper. It was just a little unusual.
He didn't talk about trying to write a book
I mean, I don't really have any more questions for her. I can talk to the trooper.
Was anyone else here that night? You said you were working late.
There were a few others on staff, but it was no one. She kind of takes a deep breath and turns and looks at you and says, "No other witnesses."
So you reported him?
There is no official incident report.
Why?
Are you a police officer?
Do I look like a police officer, man?
I don't know. I've only seen one badge so far. I have no idea who the rest of you three are.
You really did a good job of trying to protect this man, and I'm trying to figure out why.
You have no idea what the hell you're talking about. If that's enough, gentlemen, I've got other things to do.
What was the last thing he was working on?
I'd have to pull it up. I don't know.
If you could just take a quick look, we'll be out of your hair.
Or have somebody do it for us. You don't got to do it yourself.
I'll look for you.
I appreciate it.
Thanks.
I don't know. Guess I could give contact information. I don't know if I want to.
You're an FBI agent. I bet you have cards with your email address and phone number and everything on it. Just pass them around, Flynn.
Social security number, your home address, your
Leave a blood sample if you need to.
Your LinkedIn.
Your preferred ways to prepare
I'm going to go ahead and step out with the trooper who's probably out there waiting for us. And
he's just awkwardly hanging in the door.
All right. Well, I'm going to walk out, and as I go by him, I'm going to ask him if Barbas's office was on site.
He kind of holds up a hand. He's totally engrossed in what is going on still in the office.
Okay.
I'll hand her my card.
Thank you.
Any information, we'd appreciate it.
Absolutely. And you see her turn and start typing away on the computer very dismissively.
Okay, we'll follow him.
Please close the door, she says without looking up.
Cha-chunk.
You see the state trooper kind of extend his hand. Michael Dawkin. He kind of reaches out to shake your hands. He looks very serious.
I'm going to follow up my question of if was his office on site.
Yeah, I mean, they've moved all that stuff out by this point, but yeah, he was, and he kind of points down the hall. His office was at the end of the hall on the left.
Can we see the stuff that they moved out? Surely they have it saved somewhere.
I think they do, but I don't know what it is wrapped up in red tape with everything else that's going on. But I wouldn't know where it is. You'd have to talk to somebody higher up than me.
Could I make a roll to know where stuff like that would be kept?
I don't know that you would know, given your profession.
I'll make a roll.
I have law. I have criminology.
Bureaucracy.
Bureaucracy is probably
Okay.
where
I have 50.
I only have base, so.
Michael Dawkins' image is now in there.
Fail. I'll know these different states and their rules for
Is his
nonsense.
office now unoccupied?
No, the new director moved in about 3 weeks ago.
Who's the new director?
Samson.
Samsonite. I was way off.
So you said you had some more information?
Yeah, guys, M's really been kind of taking this whole thing hard between like the altercation and then I guess they patched it up and then he was sent on a leave of absence and like, so I don't know what kind of spat these two were having. And then of course now he's dead.
So his leave of absence was voluntary or was it forced?
That's the official word.
Or was it forced because of the altercation between them two on unofficial records?
Those two talked. The charges were dropped. I don't know. Like, there's stuff going on. There's people thinking he was doing stuff that he shouldn't have been. Look, I'm just a badge and a car.
Yeah, that's totally fine. Could you give us a name of someone we could talk to that could give us access to?
Do you have any? You said there were some people who had some suspicions. Do you know anybody who
just
was
some
concerned?
rumors? Higher ups in the state police force were questioning some things. Obviously, this thing with M was kind of the just the tip of the iceberg. Look, I just leave her alone, okay? I think this is a lover's quarrel. I think maybe sleeping around on her.
That's fine and all. We don't have to bug her no more.
Not to jump you guys, but like the whole talking about the other woman, I just kind of, you know.
So they were.
I mean, you know, worked at a police station before. I mean, you know, late nights, side by side. I mean, we all kind of figured, you know.
That's weird. I didn't think anyone lied to the feds.
You know, it's. We just believe that Barbas was mixed up in something more than what the surface shows, and that's what we're trying to figure out here. This is the whole reason we're here.
I get it. I'm just saying. I think Barbas kind of lost his mind. All right. I mean, I think that's pretty objective. That's not me saying anything.
Were there any other incidents?
Nothing obvious. Like I said, it's kind of one of those pushed out things. I don't know if it's a political thing. I don't know. Like,
well, you say he lost his mind. I mean, people have a bad day. They fly off the handle.
Yeah,
right? Obviously,
people lash out all the time. It's.
What else have you heard?
All right. So, the guys and I, right? So we like Barbas. Barbas is a good boss. Okay. A couple of us went over. Like I said, he'd been on leave for maybe 3 weeks or so. We went over to his house, just to have a chat, just to sort of, hey, what's going on? You know, we know that the Fraternal Order of Police was involved, trying to represent him. We know that there was stuff going on. M dropped the case. Like I said, some sort of lover spat. We just went over and just wanted to have a conversation. He just kind of been erratic, not showing up for work, you know, put on leave because of some stuff. Like I said, I don't know. I think maybe they were trying to push the old man out. You know, we're just trying to get him toe the line. He's not that far away from retirement. Like, let's get you across the line, bud. You know, you deserve it for all your work, for the community and stuff. You know what I mean? So we go over and he gave us some brandy and some snacks. He was in the middle of taking apart a motorcycle. I didn't really seem a handy guy, but, you know, kind of just chit-chatting, you know, said he's got a new job or something that he was working on that was occupying all his time, so he wasn't really worried about the force or retirement, which I thought was crazy because the man's got a great pension.
Did he talk about what the job was? Or
no, just it was super time-consuming. Anyway, I went into the back to take a leak, and you see him sort of lean in conspiratorially. Let me just say, the new piece of ass Barbas had, I wouldn't be leaving my house either. That's all I'm going to say.
That confirms there was a woman in there. We weren't just seeing things.
Very nice.
Did you speak to her?
No.
Did she speak to you?
No. Just kind of glanced up the stairs. She was not wearing much. What she was wearing was showed off everything that she had to say. You know what I'm saying?
Did she recognize you? Did she acknowledge you at all?
Just kind of a casual wave, and she went her way, and I went mine. I'm thinking, I'm just telling you guys, I think M's taking this hard. I don't know if he dropped her for a new girl. I don't know what's going on, but she's had it rough the last couple months. So just, you know.
Did you ask Barbas about the new woman, her name, anything?
No, I mean, you know, I'm not gonna.
Oh, come on, boys will be boys. We talk about these things, right? Right?
Do we?
Can you describe her physically? Like, you know.
He describes a, quote, hot woman in a long, flowing white gown that was, quote, revealing.
Revealing. Oh.
The general description is very, very similar to what your previous character would have spied.
Nice.
It is most definitely not the same look as Emmeline Skahan, Detective Skahan.
You know, one thing we're investigating here is no one's really seen that woman since she's been over at Barbas's, so that's kind of what we're trying to get around to here. So,
hey, you know, like I said, maybe the guy lost his mind. I don't know.
What was Barbas's official orders, or what was he working on for work-related stuff before his leave of absence?
I mean, I'm a glorified beat cop here, you know.
Right.
We're going to need.
Yeah, I understand this. Can you point us into the right direction?
You could talk to the director. You could talk to...
We can't talk to the director.
He starts naming off things. It's bureaucracy. At this point, it would be bureaucracy to try and pull his official file.
Is there anything coming up in toxicology and his autopsy? Anything in his system?
This guy wouldn't know. He didn't investigate it.
He probably wouldn't know either.
Flynn, you know you could pull his file. You just have to make some FBI phone calls.
Okay.
You just, like I said, you just need to make that phone call. Your previous characters were not people who have bureaucracy.
Yeah.
At least not a lot.
Okay.
I think we should probably do that because, I don't know, I just have a feeling that whatever his work was led him to do this. So whatever his official duty was at the time led him into this hole, going down the rabbit hole. So maybe we should try to get his official file. That's what I've been trying to push for. It's up to you. I mean, I obviously can't.
We can push for that. We could also potentially go to the state police.
Anyway, if you gentlemen don't need anything,
thank you. You're very helpful.
He is state police, isn't he?
Yeah,
but we're in the crime lab. There's the state police office is elsewhere. Correct?
Yeah. No, I mean the higher ups for him are located, and he kind of gives you an address. Is like, but this is where he worked. I mean, the whole down.
Do we have a name of who would have been the individual who would have given him the order to take a leave of absence?
Well, I mean, that would have been that would be pulling his file. That would be
like we don't know who was above him.
That would be hierarchy. the organizing group of the state police. There's probably a state police board. There's probably elected officials. Like Barbas was important enough that it wasn't just like his supervisor said, "Hey, cool it. This is a tenured guy in a high level position for the state police. Removing him, just knowing from bureaucracy, would not be something that is taken lightly." Yeah. I mean, to the point where 4 troopers went over to his house and were like, "Hey, cool it. You're going to lose your retirement." Like, this probably put a thing on like the police union and everything else, which you guys all found documents containing some of that stuff in his mail. Mm-hmm. Like, he was under investigation and they were trying to get a lawyer from him so he could keep his pension and they were going to fire him, blah, blah, blah.
Okay. Well, anything else we want to push for here?
I mean, it doesn't look like he actually has any information.
No.
You gentlemen have a good day.
Thank you. All right. So head out to the car. I'm going to make a phone call.
Yeah, you can get that information within a couple of hours.
Okay.
I mean, you could just get it unless you want to push for it, like whatever, but you can pull strings.
Yeah. We'll get it in a couple hours. Yeah. I think it'll be good to know what he was working on. Because it seems like it's kind of a chicken or the egg. Did something drive him to Dorchester House and that caused him to go crazy? Or did something cause him to go crazy and then that drew him to Dorchester House?
I want to know what he was working on at the time or just before he left. Because
did we, as our other characters find any handwritten notes on thick paper in his house?
Yeah, I think so.
Probably some stuff was handwritten, not a lot.
Like it could have been like notes. It could have been those schematics that we found, even.
And there were lines from the play,
right?
That were handwritten.
It's like we may already have that evidence.
You also have notes in the printout that he had from Demon Web 101, where he had annotated certain sections.
Do we actually have like the specific notes?
Yeah,
from Demon Web, like what he was drawing his attention toward.
I don't know if you ever looked through it, but yeah, I mean, you still have that. That was at the pile of stuff Encounter Group gave you.
Okay. I think we should have a clue montage.
Bam, 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 bam. Is that a good no? Okay.
I like it.
So what would you like to clue it up?
Curious about his annotations on the Demon Web.
Okay.
Materials.
What else do you guys want to do? I will prepare this for Flynn because I also never really expected this. I don't know.
Waiting for the files.
Do we want to head towards the
Dorchester and just kind of hang out?
Well, I was going to go back to the Staties.
What time is it?
And try to get whatever evidence they have from that incident.
I would say early afternoon.
Forgetting his file, I don't know what else they would have other than access to the materials, but I feel like that's I mean, if this is an ongoing investigation, there's no way they're going to let us get to that. But
who says we got to ask permission?
If you pull rank.
I also kind of want to know.
Yeah, just keep pulling rank, Flynn.
yeah.
I mean, you've already started. What I would like to also try to investigate is what was in his office that got taken out, because that is definitely stored somewhere.
Well, yeah, and that's probably what is locked away, but also probably what would be very difficult to
We could find it.
access.
You said it was bureaucracy to figure out where that stuff would be stored?
I mean, yeah, it's.
Could I roll that as well? I didn't earlier.
I got base. I
failed
take a
earlier.
stab.
I mean, you can roll bureaucracy if you want. I mean, you work in like crime lobby type stuff. Like you're gonna know, Lucas. Aiden is gonna know that he was a high level administrator. He probably wasn't working on any like specific case or anything. He was probably doing a lot of day-to-day administrative type stuff. Managing people, popping into the lab when people have a complicated thing that they don't know what to do.
Kind of more just like a HR role of
He's a high level administrator. He's not doing grunt work.
I'm more curious about what he had locked in his drawers, what was on his desk.
I mean, they would have taken that and disseminated it. Like they wouldn't necessarily have kept his stapler under lock and key. His files are probably all stored on a hard drive somewhere, his emails.
Used to have a swing line.
He may.
He used to sit by the window and I could see the squirrels, and they were married.
It looks like it will take you a couple of hours, Flynn, to go through it.
Okay.
Just kind of parsing through because the detail is difficult. I will start working on that because I don't have a document to hand you, so I will create one.
Sweet.
Okay, Flynn, I've done my best to recreate this as it is written in the book.
You are a champ.
The bullet points are various things that you find throughout. I will let you read it and start analyzing, but I will sort of play with the other guys for a little bit after I send this to you, so you can just sit and go.
These were the annotations on his printout.
Yes, that no one to this point has looked at that I'm aware of.
I don't think I even got told that there was those when I found it. I thought it
Jeff,
was just
cut in the point where I described that.
okay.
If I didn't, then definitely don't cut it in.
You know, I wish I did keep a log of all the things that Cody said and when he said it, so that I could go back and pull clips whenever he says, hey, cut back to when I said this, or cut back to when I said that. But I don't. So I can't put it in right now. But I do know that he said it.
Of course. If I didn't do the thing I said I did, then don't hold me credible for it.
Accountable.
I just thought it was just a printout, but that was my interpretation anyways. Because I went to the website to look to see what it was.
There is something else, Flynn, that is written in that is in a different set of handwriting. I am adding that to the drive now. So what are the rest of you guys doing? Gideon is sitting in the back reading, taking notes. Lucas, you're apparently driving.
Yeah.
Hitting drive-through for some burgers and shakes.
Probably.
So that leaves Franky and Reginald.
I don't know if we specifically said, but did we actually go through Barbas's wallet?
I believe that there was information. Barbas's wallet was one of the things that was recovered.
No, I know, but did we actually go through it?
I don't know.
I will go through it.
Other than the key, there wasn't anything super weird. There were some pages I think you had found. His wallet is pretty standard, nothing crazy. Maybe $50-$60 cash. Some various coupon cards. I'm not sure what you're looking for, but there's nothing that you would expect out of the ordinary. In terms of what would have been the various evidence.
Roger Thelmus' social media page.
Yeah, probably. It takes some digging, but you can find it.
Is there any reference to a Steve that I can see on there? Is
No.
there any tags? Is there any relationship with?
No. It also looks like a very clean account. There's very little personalization whatsoever. Some music.
I'm going to go through the same thing with Geneva Brown.
Looks like an old Facebook account, probably tagged with Instagram, of what you would expect from, I think she was in her 40s. as I recall. Late 30s.
The patient at the Dorchester house probably didn't have access to social media.
They were on the 3rd floor, which was the most restricted area. You know that the folks on the 2nd and 1st floor do get computer time, but the ones on the 3rd floor do not.
Well, I'm also kind of concerned because I don't know if I really got to finish going through Ophelia's Facebook page before, the wall opened up and turned into a pool. I really don't want to go through metagaming, and see that post again and lose more sand.
Lucas, anything Adrian would like to do?
I don't think so. Like, we went through, I thought, the majority of what was in that file already. So,
Flynn, Gideon's occult score also grows up by 1.
Blessed.
Just
Nice.
1?
Did we ever look up Thomas Wright?
Not that I recall.
There you go. Facebook him.
Yeah.
Thomas Wright as in Abigail Wright's father?
Yes.
Yeah.
If you're talking about the Deuxième Bureau file, it will take hours to go through. So, it is very dense.
Well, let's start it. While
we can split it
while
into bits.
Gideon's over there deciphering these notes that we missed the first time.
Flynn, are they useful?
They seem to be.
There are some things.
I will look at the Deuxième Bureau stuff. I want to get back to Troy's question. I want to not lose something that you did investigate. Gideon, you get a phone call after a little while. They pull the file. Whoever your tech is says, yeah, what did you want to know about this Dr. Barbas? Looks like he was, holy shit, killed by police. No, but I pulled his file, Special Agent. What exactly would you like to know?
Oh, me?
Yeah, you're the Special Agent.
Oh, do I get a call?
Yes.
Special.
Yes.
I've been talking to you this whole time.
I was deciphering.
Okay.
Ring, ring. My phone is just ringing, and I'm like studying.
And sir,
Ring, ring.
what's Gideon's ring?
Ring, ring.
Uptown
Probably
Girl.
Imagine Dragons. Something lame.
It's Uptown Girl.
I was going to imagine that it was the Criminal Minds theme song.
When you get a text message, it goes dun dun.
Bum, bum.
don't know.
Yeller.
As I was dictating already, the tech who was already talking to you was like, yeah, Gideon, hello, you there?
Yes. Sorry.
This guy
you're cutting
Barbas. This guy Barbas just got shot by police. Kind of a thing.
Yes.
What do you want to know?
What was he working on before early June, late May? Anything?
Well, let's just say June is a big turning point for this man. This is when it all went f***ing downhill.
What's happening right before then?
Looks like a lot of administrative bullshit. I don't have access to his emails or anything. That would take me a little bit more time, but
That would be something that would be good to have.
Let me see what I can do. It's another level, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
This is just kind of his personnel file. Like I said, been promoted to administrator, president of the local chapter of National Association of Police Organizations. Looks like here we got a bunch of official complaints about being abusive to staff members. Looks like he had a short fuse, stopped showing up for work, reprimands.
When was that first complaint coming in?
Looks like I got one dated. You'd have to double check whatever the first day in June was in 2015. That would have been a work day.
Okay.
I don't want to say June 1st and it was a Sunday. It wouldn't have been June 1st if June 1st was a Sunday, but June 1st, June 2nd, June 3rd, something like that.
June 1st.
Okay. Looks like there were calls for... Oh, holy shit. They wanted this guy to seek psychological help. Yeah, this dude was getting fired. If he hadn't been shot by police, they would have fired him.
Any specifics in those complaints
exclusive?
that you think are...
Just seemed like the dude went straight up ass. I mean, like, just lots of complaints of physical aggression and missing meetings, not attending things. Apparently, they seem to think that this guy lost his mind, which, might have.
Any documented house visits?
No.
Check-ins?
No. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if people didn't go and say something to him, but I mean, nothing on the books. You know what I'm saying?
Next of kin? Any
Nah. Looks to be kind of a loner.
associations? Okay.
I mean, I could send you over the file if you really want, but that's the juicy bit. I mean, everything else here, he's pretty much exemplary employee through May of
Go
this
ahead
year.
and send me the file if you would.
Yeah.
And if you can get me some email records, especially mid to late May.
Let me see what I can do. That's gonna be.
I know it's a lot. I owe you one.
I'll have you make a roll later, and we'll see what he can find.
Okay.
So there's that. Thomas Wright. That's the other thing I was gonna look at.
Back to my studies.
Yep. I like how you've taken my barely legible notes that I scrawled as fast as possible and have made them even less legible.
Yeah, I'm scribbling on them.
Thomas Wright at this point would be like 70 years old.
Mm-hmm.
You don't find any obits or anything. But you also don't find you don't really find like a social media account or anything like that. It would take more of a roll to try and get nothing easy, put it that way. Lucas, you are reading the Deuxième Bureau file?
Yes.
Okay. We talked about in the Deuxième Bureau file, we talked about the 6th of May, 1895 is when the first time that they started finding unnatural events associated with the King in Yellow in Paris. I think I told you before, 2 members of the French government fell under the influence of the King in Yellow. This would have been in like June of 1895. And then I think this is the last clue I gave you, Flynn, before. So there was the death of President Jean Casimir Perrier's personal secretary. When she died, that's what caused French agents from the Deuxième Bureau to investigate Le Roi en Jeune and burn copies. So that's when the Deuxième Bureau started doing something about
Is there a date on that death?
12th July, 1895.
Okay, so June and July seem to be pretty prominent so far.
Yeah. Who French? Would you say French?
It was a French president, Jean Casimir Perrier.
Frenchy McFrencherson.
French McFrench.
They believe the book was written by a foreigner. They dub him Auteur X. Or actually, it would be Auteur X. 18th July, plans for a live performance of Le Roi en Jeune are announced by Les Coquilicots. Les Coquilicots, which is the poppies. And then you see a poster for the Le Roi en Jeune, depicting a woman holding a mask with a snake crawling through its eyes, documented, starting popping up in late July, early August. And I will drop that in the clues. That's about how far you get by the time Flynn gets everything done in terms of reading. I believe some of this information is French, but I suppose I'll hand wave it for you guys since we started, because I'm pretty sure the person who knew French is now dead.
Correct.
You all right over there, Flynn?
No.
There's a new thing called French poster in the clues. And I all think you probably need to make a sand check for looking at it.
We all didn't look at it.
No, but you're going to.
Says you. What was the clue? French
poster.
Oh. Yeah, I gotta make a sand roll in real life.
That's what I was suggesting.
And this was found in the folder file.
Correct.
Is that supposed to be the yellow sign at the bottom there? The other version of the sign?
Roll sand.
That's Lucas asking questions because I actually don't. I've never seen that before. Damn it. Success as an ought to.
It just looks a little blurry.
Put your glasses on.
So the yellow sign mixed with the assassin symbol.
That's what it looks like to me, yeah.
Have you concluded your research yet, Flynn?
Did we get
I'll let you keep going.
Did we get the translation on that?
Le Roi en Jeune?
Yeah.
The king in yellow.
Correct.
Okay, makes sense.
Ooh la la. Allons enfants de la patrie. Yeah. Just gotta go with the music. Le jour de gloire it était. Man, it's really hard saying French words that I haven't said in a long time.
It's really hard saying French words, period.
Nah, it's really not once you get used to it. It's just been a long time. Before we go back to Flynn, who has now riddled my notes with copious more notes.
So he's made annotations to your annotations.
He's kind of got like a Charlie Day thing going on here. Anything else that you chuckleheads would like to do?
No.
I would like to... I'll make a call to my good friend Bernie to see if he can dig up some information on Thomas Wright for me.
Now, you told me who Bernie was.
Yeah.
And you used the word, and I'm not sure how you were using that word.
Partner.
Yes.
Yes.
What does Bernie do?
I work with Bernie.
Okay. I'm just curious. I mean, I don't know. For all I know, Bernie's your lover. I don't have any idea.
Is the ritual a new clue too?
Yes, it is.
And that came from the folder as well?
Correct. Okay, you can call Bernie. I just wasn't sure how I was supposed to play Bernie, so... If I need to get romantic with you, Troy, I can, but if you don't want me to...
Depends on which Bernie you're talking,
This
because
is
like
a business call, so no.
Oh, Reginald, I'm
so glad you called,
there's 2 whole movies where Bernie is just dead the whole time.
I've missed you. Where have you been? It's been too many nights since you've been home in our bed.
Back to me. I want to feel you against me.
Bernie's actually a woman. It's like the thing from what's that?
Rocco's
musical?
Modern Life. Oh, you know that musical Rocco's Modern Life.
The old musical Rocco's Modern Life. No, oh God, what is it? My wife likes it. Hairspray.
I don't know.
Oh,
I was thinking Mrs. Big Head.
Oh God, what's that guy's name? Troy, what's that actor's name? The guy who sounds like that, with the raspy.
Oh, Harvey Firestein?
Yes, Harvey Firestein plays a Turnblatt's mother or whatever. He played it on Broadway, I think. Oh dear, you'll never be one of those pretty girls. That'd be an awesome role.
This ritual clue is referencing the 72 demons. If no one's made that connection yet.
What are we? You can get Bernie on the phone. The phone rings. Yeah. What can I do for you, Reginald? Where you been lately?
On special assignment.
Oh, all right. Usually they send your partner, but okay. You have fun wherever you're at.
Can you?
Is it warm? I hope it's warm. Beaches.
No,
babes.
it's not.
Well,
Can you dig up some information on Thomas Wright for me? Manhattan,
okay.
possibly.
It's a pretty wide net there, Jonah. What whale are we catching?
He's the father of a missing girl, Abigail Wright, in 95.
Okay. Anything else?
Just, like to know, I guess, current whereabouts, happenings, going on with him, contact information.
And this is totally above the board official, right?
Yeah.
Of course it is. They got any good beer where you're at?
Oh, yeah.
Bring some back to the office. Click. Flynn, would you like to reveal your shocking revelations at this point? Have you reached your epic conclusion?
I'm nearing a climax, I think.
Who is Kaiser Soze? Tell me, Flynn.
Simulation.
Would you like to read the notes, or can you no longer see them?
I'll find the originals. Okay, so I'll read them and then I'll give my thoughts as well.
Sure.
So these are annotations that were just scattered throughout
the 50 some odd pages printed from demonweb101.com.
Okay, which I went to finally because I realized Grady has been suggesting that, and I'm a dipshit. At the very bottom, of the list. It says, inscribe the seal of the particular demon you wish to contact. After the ritual is complete, the demon shall make itself known. So those summoning circles, that kind of makes sense. At the very bottom of this webpage, in italics, it says, what impossible landscapes wait beyond the cracked corners of this false world? And that's when I went, woo! So that was earlier. Okay. So, Whist notes check out. Ed Whist. So Barbas made contact with Whist, saw his notes somehow, and he was able to confirm that. So I think we need to contact Whist again and say, what did Barbas want? What did you give him, etc. There are a lot of just letters instead of people's names. A lot of shortening. So next note is B is Solomon. King Solomon is noted as one who bound, summoned, interviewed different demons. And so I think the B is Barbas. I think about it, he's talking about himself as he is the person who is acting as Solomon in this regard. I don't really have anything other than the fact that it seems like he wants to start summoning some of these demons, or that's part of the interest. One call each except Asmodee. I don't really know what that means. Asmodee is the name of a demon, but one call each. I don't know. I don't know what he means by call. It says Bitru is friend of V, not B, but S, Acadian. Bitru is another name for Citri. So Citri, Ophelia, Citri, etc. Friend of V, I don't know. Not B, but S, Acadian. That one I'm struggling with.
Spell Acadian.
Akkadian. Seems to be referring to the Akkad people of Mesopotamia. So, is this like S. Akkadian, or is this but S and then Akkadian written next to it?
Akkadian is written next to it.
Okay, so it's like
not
Akkadian is like an afterthought there.
It looks like Bitru is friend of V. That's a thought. Not B, but S is a thought. Akkadian ? Is a thought. They're related, but not obviously so.
Okay. The play is still going on somewhere. Cool. DRD, all caps, middle name Foras, Foras, that's a demon name. 29 legions, quote, employees, logic, ethics, and precious stones, recover lost things. Makes sense, all uppercase. I think DRD is Dr. Dallin.
His initial is F.
Yep, middle initial is F. He had those precious stones, 29 legions, employees. I'm guessing if we look back, there are 29 people who work at the house. Wait, 22 patients.
I think there was a reference to about that number of employees.
Yeah, somewhere.
22 patients on that floor. But I think there's 29 employees of the house itself, because there's still 2 other floors.
Those are patients. Those weren't numbers of employees. But I'm sure we could confirm that. All right. Person answers truly of all secret and divine things of earth and the creation of the world. First in Ludine's house. I looked up Lundine. I couldn't find anything on Lundine, but now I think I might have misspelled it.
Could be a ancient or a previous form of London.
Stan Lundine was an American politician. Jennifer Lundine is in the Department of Speech and Hearing Science. Don't think it's those, but Lundine person. So again, we have that reference to person as someone who knows things. Stephen P. Curson also was mentioned by Bale as knowing things. So he's still someone we need to figure out. Marbus Goetic president, and then a little exclamation point in parentheses, 36 servants, just like MSPFS. MSPFS. Is that right? MSPFS?
I think so.
Okay.
I was serving
S.
PFS.
Is that Sorry, I should probably talk to the mic. Is that M for Marbus? Am I going somewhere with this? M for Marbus. M S
Citry, person, 4S. Maybe?
MSFP.
Samagina.
Samagina. B, not M.
Barbus,
Barbus, not Marbus. Overlay Marbus and Bitru equals 4S? Question mark.
Equals what?
4S.
Which is Downs' middle name.
Downs' middle name. And I wonder if he's talking about the sigils. If you overlay the two, it equals 4S.
Are you talking about the summoning sigils?
Maybe. I don't know if you want to look that up in here. I think there are some sigils. The last one is Horizon, the Starry King, and the Gong. Horizon is a reference to William Blake, who was a poet, and he was a character who was an architect. He created and constrained the universe. The Gong. Did we encounter a Gong?
Not in this game.
That doesn't sound familiar to me. No.
Grady's nodding.
Jeff cut in the part where I talked about the gong.
There was a gong in his house, wasn't there?
No, I believe there were gongs when you spoke to the encounter group.
Oh.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah.
Those were the...
Right. Okay.
I believe there was a gong in the darkness.
Horizon, the Starry King, and the Gong.
So what sigils are we
Flynn,
wanting
roll sand. I feel like that's appropriate.
to... No, you.
All right, I'll roll your sand.
26. That's a pass.
I will say you lose 1 from helplessness. That feels fair, given all the connections that you have just made.
Yeah, that's fair.
Things seem very helpless as things start twisting and turning on themselves.
What were the sigils we were wanting to look at?
Citry and Marbus.
Okay, Marbus is number 5. I got that one memorized.
Do they somehow combine to equal or resemble 4S?
Here's 4S's symbol.
Should probably... So there's Marbus.
Where's Marbus? Which one?
5. At the very top, on the top left.
I don't
Not
see
much
it.
connection there.
And then Citry was the other one. I don't got Citry's number memorized because Marbus was an easy one because we've been investigating him for a while. Citry's number. And where was 4S brought into all this?
4S.
Citry's 12.
He's got the 29 legions.
There's a reference to DRD's middle name is
Which was
4S.
They're under the presumption that is for Dallin.
Dr.
Middle name
Richard
is
Dallin, whose middle name is F.
F.
Here's the big question. Is Barbus just making these connections and... Or is there something else to this? Because if we're trying to put like all of these patterns together in terms of like what the actual, demon web says, like it has to be this way, then we're going to run into issues. But if Barbus is just like seeing these names and making these connections and going
there's no way it's just a coincidence. That's a giant coincidence. Like there's
passing strange.
But it started out by saying Wist's notes were correct, right?
Yeah, that's pretty big because we saw his notes.
Okay, so bring up for us the sigil again because Citry does have more similarities to Forus. Citry is 12. So that has more similar.
There's some crosses, but
yeah, but I'm talking about it has more similarities than Barbus does. Marbus, whichever you want to call him.
Yeah, but if you like sort of blended the two, they don't really kind of come out to look like that.
No,
anyway,
they don't. Okay. Dorchester House.
It's now getting late into the afternoon, early evening.
Okay, let's head to D house.
We've been heading to the D house.
I'm pretty sure you're probably parked.
We're at the D house.
Right.
I look up from my notes. All right, guys, let's go to the Dorchester house. We're here.
Been here for hours.
Oh.
Security is like tapping on the window. Our title track and additional musical arrangements were provided by friend of the podcast, Ian Shannon. Find more of his work at sleepfortheweary.com. Like what you heard? Check out more episodes online at rancorsbrothel.com or the Rancors Brothel on Facebook. You can also interact with other listeners at the Fans of the Rancors Brothel Facebook page. Want to contact us? Reach out to @Rancors_Brothel on Twitter or via email at therancorsbrothel@gmail.com. Most of all, keep circulating the tapes. Much love, everyone.